Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to Copperline Rattler Ranch. I'm Julia. Today we're going to take some time to do a little bit of cleanup work. We have some areas that need some attention. Dawn's taking care of a couple of things, and I'm going to take care of an issue we have under our solar panels. When we first started the house, started planning for the house, we were so excited that we would be able to build some bottle windows that we just started saving all kinds of bottles and jars, and it's just turned into a nightmare. So I'm going to go ahead and clean up this area, get it all organized, get rid of some stuff that we know we're probably not going to want, and we just have way too many bottles for any more of our future projects. So I'm going to show you real quick what I'm talking about. So here's this mess. We've got bottles that we cut and taped maybe a year and a half ago, falling apart, getting broken. All of our boxes, of course, through weathering, have decided to collapse. I got a couple of plastic bins over there I'm going to utilize, as well as some new ones that we bought yesterday at one of the big box stores. So we're going to do all that today, and along with a few other necessary cleanup chores that we have to do that we've been neglecting. I'll show you when I'm done. Alright, so this is the finished product, if you will, of going through all those bottles. Took a little bit, a couple of hours. I went through, I sorted them by what my intention is with them. These will be used primarily in the kitchen. We built the outdoor kitchen, the indoor-outdoor kitchen. So I did eliminate quite a few of the bottles. I think something that you need to be aware of when you're starting a project like this and you get all super hyper excited about your plans, you're going to have to go through and clean up some stuff every now and again. I wouldn't say not to collect all the bottles that you want, but just keep in mind that eventually you will need to get rid of some. You can either contact other builders and see if they want the bottles, take them to a glass recycling station, things like that if you want to. We do have a local transfer station not far from us that we will see if they can take the bottles in their recycling bin. We'll have to check and see. So that's our intention when we take a bunch of other stuff up to that same place, because that's what we do. All this box and the wheelbarrow and that other bag, that's what remains to take to our white trash trailer. And then probably this week we'll need to take all that stuff up to get rid of it. The next project that we'll be doing is we've got some of that barbed wire that we came out of the wall collapse that we're going to do the same thing. We're going to bundle up. We're going to take a look at it. Anything short we'll get rid of. Anything that's long and usable we'll probably roll up and wire it together and save it for a later purpose. One thing that is nice about having solar panels is you've got instant shade. So the dogs love to stay in here. They just both stepped out into the sun right now, but we also utilize this shade for some of our equipment. So we've got our log splitter, we've got our big tiller, we've got an electric lawnmower, we've got a little push hand mower, a couple of other things in here, the bottles in here to help keep them safe from the weather and breaking, that kind of thing. So it is nice. You just have to be aware the panels are right here, and you don't want to put anything that's going to roll, smash into those panels from underneath, or park your car under here and smash into the panels underneath, things like that. All right, we're still doing chores. This is a bunch of barbed wire that came off of the wall after it collapsed, so I'm going to try to make some organizational effort with that. While I'm doing that, Dawn's working on beefing up the last step that we put up and getting ready to put on the next step. I know I've told you in the past that you really have to be flexible when you're living actually just your normal life, let alone a life out here where you're doing a lot of this work on your own. I've got the boys in here with me. I'm in the garden right now. Don had a family emergency he had to go take care of. So we don't usually do work on the house unless we're both able to do it, because it can be a little bit hazardous. So I thought I'd give you an update on the garden since it's been a while and show you some of my successes. Maybe just pure luck, because like I've said in the past, I am not a gardener, but I'm giving it a go. So I will turn this thing around and show you what's going on. So it's still pretty early, you know, it's toward the end of April. In here, if you remember, I showed you that I was doing onions over here and I have garlic over here. They're doing pretty well. These were all done from onion sets, and those were bulbs from last year's garlic harvest. In this one, I tried to grow tomatoes from seed, and ended up, you can see one of them's died. Ended up just buying some tomato plants at the nursery, and also a couple of pepper plants because the pepper seeds didn't grow. It's kind of interesting to learn as I go and see what's working and what's not working. In here, I have root vegetables, so I have some beets, turnips, carrots, and radishes. And I actually had to plant the seeds 3 times to get anything to show up. So I don't know if you can see it, but these are beets, and then there's some turnips over there. Those way at the end are the radishes. Tiny little bits of carrots. Carrots are a little difficult to grow from what people tell me. So we'll see what happens with that. Oh my gosh, going like hotcakes. I just wasn't expecting it. But this year I did plant seed potatoes from an online nursery, and they're going really well. Last time the potatoes that I tried to grow were actually just taking a shot at stuff that I bought from the grocery store and hoping, you know, that even some of the organic ones would grow, and they didn't do as well. I'm hoping to get a good harvest, and now I probably have overcrowded this bed. But like I said, it's kind of a learning process for me. And here, the herbs, I've gone ahead and added some sweet basil, some Thai basil, and chamomile. And I found some sage. I wanted to grow some sage because I really do enjoy sage seasonings. Broccoli and cauliflower, and I tried cabbage from seeds. And you can see it didn't work. They were supposed to be over in this area, and nothing's growing there. These were, again, from a nursery because I couldn't get the seeds to grow. I just couldn't find any cabbage other than like bok choy, and I'm not truly excited about bok choy. The elderberry has just exploded this year, which makes me very happy. This is the 2nd year for it. So this year, at the end of the season, I think once it drops its leaves, I'll be able to take some cuttings from this and start some new elderberry plants. In these two, what I did here, in these 2 little planters, was I took slices of tomatoes. One was a Roma tomato and the other was a Kumato, and they're actually sprouting. Let me get a little closer, and you can see those little buggers are sprouting from the slice. So that really does work. I've seen that on YouTube a few thousand times. I have a few other herbs. A couple of parsleys, dill, some mints, lemon balm growing in that one. These are rattlesnake beans, so they're kind of like a dried bean, and I think I described that in the last time that I did a garden video. Of the beans that I planted in this bed, those are the only ones that came up. I did buy a small strawberry plant and 2 different types of cucumbers. I hope that that's just a little bit of transplant shock. But they are growing new leaves, so I'm not too worried. And then, of course, more onions in this bed. My lettuces, sad. I've got really basically 3. 2 of the Merlot romaine, and then this is supposed to be a head lettuce, but it's not heading up. It's just staying pretty leafy. But I will say, we ate some the other day. It was really delicious. Over here, watermelon. I'm gonna wait. I just planted like a fistful of seeds in this little spot. I'm gonna wait till we have some, let me get my shadow over there. I'm gonna wait until we have some better growth. You can see they're getting their secondary leaves, and then I'll separate these and spread them out a little bit, give them a little bit of room. There's one stray seed over there. Over here in these two pots, the blue one has an apple tree from seed, and the brown one has a pomegranate that I'm growing from seed. So the pomegranate has just recently truly exploded, and eventually I'm going to get these guys into some bigger pots and maybe even construct something out of the pallets similar to the pallet raised beds that I have, but smaller, you know, maybe half the size for these trees, provided they continue to do well. And in here, this is squash and pumpkins mixed in with onions. So I did have some that I planted over in this area that failed to germinate, but I'm happy that I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 plants growing. This one is actually one my daughter-in-law gave me. It's supposed to produce a pink squash, and then the others are different types of pumpkins. So we'll see how those do. And then I am ready so that I can either trail these off the sides or trail them up and over these sides here to help keep them under control, because the squash and the pumpkin will just kind of get out of control. So that's that. Sorry about the wind, but that's going to be it for this video, I think. I showed you a couple of things that we've done. The barbed wire took a couple of hours to get straightened away. It was kind of really boring. I didn't want to, it's like trying to untangle chains or, you know, barbed wire. I did get snagged a few times. I got a couple of spots on my arms and my hands, even though I was wearing gloves, that got poked. But that was all cleaned up. It needed to be cleaned up. And then the bottles, as you saw earlier in the video. So, you know, when we can't do work on the house, we do try to do other things around the property. Anyway, that'll be it for this video. We thank you for watching. We want you to like this video, share it, and subscribe. And we'll see you next time. Thank you. Bye.